3 months, 10 dates. You can do it. I respect it if you want to wait. I don't think you're a bad person if you do, but it would just be a mismatch in terms of how long I'm willing to wait and how long they want to wait. So in which case, it could be a conversation, or we just wouldn't pursue the relationship, essentially.
Yeah. But I believe you've said before that you would only wait 3 days. Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why I'm confused, because it's like, imagine somebody did wait 3 months. Are you going to wait 3 months if that was the standard?
I think I just answered it. So if that was her previous, that's how she moved with her previous relationships, I'd be more inclined to wait. But knowing that that's not how you previously moved, I'd be like, well, hold on. Is this a genuine value, or are you just trying to leverage sex to get something from me? Do you not genuinely desire me the same way you genuinely desired those other guys that you fucked within 30 minutes of meeting them? In which case I wouldn't be interested in her. Look, people are willing, a woman could have slept with 100 men previously within 30 minutes of meeting them, and then guy number 101, she could make that guy wait 6 months before sleeping with him. I think that's a raw deal for the guy, and I would instruct the man, you don't have to pursue this woman. In fact, that's a bad deal for you. Don't pursue her.
It kind of makes sense, because it's like, why would you switch up with that one person?
Yeah. But I don't really, I think maybe part of your criticism is, okay, well, women who are inclined to sleep with you relatively quickly
Exactly.
They must certainly have high body counts, but you want women with low body counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't think this is the case at all. Although it could be an indicator for a woman who is promiscuous.
I think it would be.
Promiscuous in the sense of some people will view sleeping with somebody quickly in and of itself as promiscuous. But in terms of the number of sexual partners, I don't think it's actually necessarily an indicator.
It's a pretty good fucking indicator.
I think there's better indicators. There's far better indicators.
That goes back to my question of like, what is it like about you
Brian,
on a date?
if you're at a bar and a chick comes over and she sits down with you, and by the end of the night you're going home with her, it's a pretty good indicator.
Yeah.
I don't go to bars.
Yeah, but if you were at a bar or anywhere in any social setting, whatever it was.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, Andrew. I would say that her being at a bar is a bigger indicator of her promiscuity than how quickly she will sleep with somebody.
Okay, but in any social setting in which you went home with the woman the same night, I would say is a pretty good indicator that she's done that before, or has at the very least had other sexual partners, and probably many of them, to be that sexually loose.
Well, let's examine the reverse scenario. So let's say a woman who you meet in one of these venues or at church or some other, respectable place, I suppose, grocery store, Trader Joe's, you meet her and she wants to wait until marriage. Is this an indicator that she does not have a promiscuous past?
No.
Right.
But hang on.
No, you hang on, Andrew.
Hang on. I just responded, though.
Okay.
So I'll say this. I think if you met a woman at a Trader Joe's who said that she wanted to, date you long term and didn't want to sleep with you immediately, that while that wouldn't be an indicator that she hasn't slept with many, many people, it would be a better indicator that she hasn't than if she's willing to go home with you the same night of. And I think that you would agree with that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it can be used as
so all we're looking is at chance, right? I'm going to agree with you. that it's not 100%, falsifiable. So you could have the one chick, you're her second or even first sexual partner. She wants to go home with you that very night. I just think that that's far more rare than it isn't. And I think that the chances that a woman wants to go home with you night one is a better indicator of promiscuity than if you met her at a random Trader Joe's and she said that she didn't want to sleep with you immediately. I mean, doesn't that track?
Yeah, sure. I'll certainly grant that it could be an indicator. It doesn't mean a woman could be a virgin and sleep with a guy immediately. I agree. Too.
But I don't think that. I'm
just asking about chances. Don't you think the chances are better? Just better.
Oh, sure. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So when she says, to get to the spirit of kind of her criticism, she's saying, well, look, if a woman does want to sleep with you within the first 3 dates, that may be a better indicator that she has a loose past. Though, in Brian's defense, right, and not even playing devil's advocate here, because I believe this 100%, in modernity, that's actually very difficult to tell now. Because women will go the chastity route on a dime, even having had 60 or 70 former partners, because they don't want to disappoint the man. They don't want the man to think badly of them, right? So they make them wait. That's been a very common theme that I've heard throughout this show. So I think there's a point both ways. But to ask you directly, here's the Brian paradox that I can't reconcile. And maybe you can help me with this. Many women will say, listen, I don't want to sleep with you immediately because I think you will think worse of me. I want to, I'm just not going to, because then you'll think that I'm a slut, right? Isn't that then making Brian's point that ordinarily they would do this? They're just basically adjusting for the outcome that they want.
I mean, it could, but I don't think that's the case most of the time.
What do you mean?
I think it is. Well, I think
Sometimes
I used to think like you did. I used to think like you did until having talked to so many women at this point. It's very common that women will rack up these high body counts in their 20s, and then in their late 20s or early 30s, they will then say, okay, I'm chaste, or I'm not going to have sex anymore, or because I've slept with men very quickly before, I don't want that kind of guy anymore. I don't want the playboy. I want more of a kind of down to earth guy or normie or whatever, right?
What about the women?
Hang on, let me finish real quick, and then I'll let you jump in, I promise. If that is the case, and it does seem to be the case, then, I mean, Brian's paradox does stand, which is like, what do you do about that, about the fact that so many women will only become kind of chaste because they don't want the man to think poorly of them, sleeping with them too quickly?
What about the women who actually saved themselves in their 20s and teens and was just in 30s, and then once they got to 40 realized all men are terrible, then they had their little get in their groove back type? What about them women? Because men are just, everyone they met was just trash and didn't deserve them. What about them?
What about them?
What you mean, what about them? They deserve love too.
Okay,
because those the women y'all don't speak on them though. You speak up, so you speak on what you're attracted to. You're attracted to a woman who sleep with you the first day. You're meeting the whores that fuck all in their 20s and stuff. It's women out here that's not like that.
Yeah, I agree that there's women out there who aren't like that.
So wait, what about them?
Meaning what you're saying is just what you're looking for. That's my point. What I see. You're saying everything you're describing. I don't even know. That's terrible women. So that's what you're looking for.
No, I listen. I agree with you.
That's what he's looking for and what he's gonna get.
Those are terrible women. Well, hang on. Listen. You've made kind of a conflation here. So I agree with you on one point and then disagree on a second point. The point that I agree with you on is yes, a lot of fucking horrible women, right? A lot of horrible women.
I bet that's
the point I don't agree with you on is that. Because a woman's willing to sleep with you quickly, that means she has a high body count.
I don't think that. I didn't say that. He said that. I don't think that.
Yeah, but then,
because she can like you more than everybody else.
What is your objection?
Because she can like you more than everybody else, and you was the one person that she allowed to be that way with.
Yeah, I agree.
But
totally agree
the objection was that he's gonna meet that because every woman he's describing, he's when they get old, they want to be this. I'm saying, what about the ones who are already like that and then got fed up and got old and probably got fast then and started to sleep with people that still.
Well, I'll grant that such women exist where they stay chaste throughout their 20s and 30s and then go
You're
through their
looking for the ones that sleep with you the first night. That's why.
Hang on, I just let you go.
You gotta let him
respond real quick.
Let him talk.
I will grant to you that those women exist. I just think it's far more common in the reverse that women usually go through their whole phase in their 20s, not in their 40s. You would agree with me there, right?
I don't, because
I mean, they're the most pursued in their 20s. So if they're the most pursued,
but I don't
their
think
chances of having sex increase drastically. That's why most women in their 20s go through it, not in their 40s.
Well, I can't believe that because I'm a woman in her 20s who don't do that. So
I know, but what about your peer group? A lot of them do, don't they?
Yeah, and there's some that don't too.
Yeah, there's some that don't. I agree with that too.
So I feel like it's half and half.
So let me just ask it to you like this. Don't you think that it's far more likely you're going to run into a woman in her 20s who's going through a hoe phase than run into a woman in her 40s who went through no phase.
I don't, because it's old.
Hang on. Let me finish the question. How do you even know how to answer it if I can't even finish it? So, don't you think it would be more common to run into a woman in her 20s going through a hoe phase than a woman in her 40s who went through no phase? That's the question.
You said rougher to find love?
Yeah, wouldn't it be easier to find a woman in her 20s going through a hoe phase, a woman in her 40s who went through no phase?
No, because it's innocent women everywhere.
Yeah, that's not my question. I didn't ask if they exist.
I said no
asked
then.
which was more common.
No, I don't think it's more common.
You think it's more common that women go through to their 40s without ever having any sexual partners? That's
you
insane.
See how y'all...
No data bears this out anywhere.
You see how when I talk, you don't let me finish, then you interrupt me, but as soon as I can try to continue...
I'm letting you talk right now. And all you're doing is using your time to complain. Just go.
Okay. It's women everywhere. It's 4 billion people in the world. Like, it's women who fucking live in a cottage. 8 billion people.
8 billion people in the world.
Okay.
8.
Okay, great. Oh, you couldn't wait for that, huh? That's a joke. Got you.
Well, as your English teacher, I have to correct you on these things.
You're right, Mr. Watson.
8 billion.
Wilson.
Go ahead.
You're right, Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson, get it right.
You're right. Okay, but listen, it's women who live in a freaking cottage who's not thinking about none of that, and they just used to living in a cottage. So no, I wouldn't say that's half of women. I would say wherever you live, that's them women, and then wherever he lives, that's them women, and I think that's what you're pursuing, and that's what you get and what you're looking for. Like you said, women, you want a millionaire, you want this, it's delusion. I think you're delusional as well.
Okay, well then, now you agree that I just let you go through that. Let me just ask you a few yes or no questions, right? None of them are going to be preloaded, meaning I'm not loading them up with like presuppositions, okay? Just basic yes or no questions. Do you agree that women generally are more attractive in their 20s than in their 40s? Not all women, just generally women are more attractive
yes,
in their 20s
I agree.
than their 40s.
Usually.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so if that is the case, then wouldn't that necessarily expand the amount of sexual partners available to women in their 20s?
No, because when you're beautiful,
What?
because when you're beautiful, I would know. Listen, to a beautiful, broke my scale woman. I personally feel like when you're beautiful, it's harder because you don't know who to give your love to. You don't know who to give your anything to, so you hold out more because they don't deserve it and you don't want to give it to the wrong person.
Okay, listen, hang on. There's a couple of presuppositions there which are wrong, or just suppositions that are wrong. So the first one is most women are not over the top beautiful. That's insane. You have to agree that most women are not 10 out of 10.
But
otherwise, hang on. Otherwise, we wouldn't have an average. So the thing is that if most of them are average, hang on, let me finish.
The baddest.
Let me finish. If most of them are average, they're still going to be more attractive in their 20s than in their 40s, which we agreed, which means that even the average woman is still going to have way more access to sexual partners in their 20s than their 40s, right?
Average doesn't mean you're not fucking though. Like,
that's my point. That's my point.
Okay,
that's
no,
my
but
point.
You're saying they're more attractive though, and I'm saying that doesn't mean like what you're saying about looks don't mean that they're doing it more because they're in their 20s and young. It's not about that.
If they're more attractive and they're average, they're still average in their 40s. They're just also average in their 20s.
No, because some people get better with age.
You already agreed that most women are more attractive in their 20s than their 40s. You already agreed to that.
Because some people get better with age, and shoot, they get surgery and stuff and start looking better sometimes.
Then why did you just say that women on average in their 20s are better looking than they are in their 40s?
You said, is it true majority are? Yes, but I said that don't mean they're sleeping with people and being fast. I said you could be average getting fucked, and you could be any type of look getting fucked.
Don't you understand that your own logic says that the women who are in their 20s are more attractive, they have more access to sexual partners, therefore that's why.
But that don't mean they're using what they got.
I just listened.
You gotta let him finish. Go ahead.
If that is the case, that there's more attractive in their 20s, they have more access to more sexual partners, that would explain why it is that they have more sex in their 20s with more sexual partners than in their 40s. It's because of availability.
I still don't agree. I don't even like me personally.
Based on nothing?
No,
based
but
on how you feel?
No, based on my life. I don't think at my 20s.
That's how you feel. That's anecdotal.
Yeah, because at my 20s I didn't do much. So I think people say that, and that's not true.
All right, let me ask you.
You're not young, fine, in your 20s.
Okay, well, okay.
So I'm answering from a 20-year-old who a lot of people like.
I get it. You're not fast and loose. Great, right? I'm going to ask you a direct question, though, and I'm hoping you don't lie to me on this one, okay? Out of all of your friends in your peer group, and all of your acquaintances in your peer group who are around the same age as you and female, how many of them are loose?
Are loose?
Meaning they have multiple sexual partners.
I don't know, cause I keep my
just guess.
I personally don't know. People not gonna tell me, cause I'm more of like I'm a more of an innocent friend. I've always been like that. Like, yeah, I got a big mouth and I could talk and debate, but that don't mean I'm fast.
Guess.
That doesn't mean I'm fast.
What's your best get?
They don't tell me anything. When you're
If
the
you had to guess.
when you're the goody two shoe, everyone's not gonna tell you I slept with that dude in the bathroom last night at the party. They're not gonna tell you. So like, you don't know everyone's life, and I'm telling you, my friends don't tell me. So from what I know,
how many of your close friends you have? How many would you say that you have at least 2 best friends?
I have one best friend, and my dog is my other best friend.
Does any of your best friends or your very close friends have multiple sexual partners? And now, go ahead and lie to me and say you guys never talk about sex, so I can go ahead and dismiss the next thing you say. All right, go ahead. Just say, Andrew.
Have I had a friend who had multiple sex partners? Yes. Everyone has had a friend. Shit. That's not
what I asked you. I didn't ask if you've ever had a friend who had multiple sexual partners. I asked you, since you never talk to any of the acquaintances that you know about sex, you're the only woman on planet Earth who doesn't talk with your friends about sex. The close ones, at least, I would assume you do.
No, my close ones are. No, my close ones are dealing with the same guys currently. So yes, the close people.
Have they had multiple sexual partners then?
In the past, I don't know.
No, you don't know. Okay.
Other people's sexuality is not my business, like what they're doing. I can only speak about me.
I know. Okay. The reason that you have like this smile going is because you know, and I know, and the audience knows, you're full of shit. And you know
I'm not full of shit.
Which one of your friends have had multiple sex partners, and you guys talk about sex, and you're lying through your teeth.
You don't even know if I have friends. What if my dog's my only friend?
You just said you had friends.
I said no, that she's talking to, like, the ones I'm around, they're talking to the same people that they've been talking to and dealing with. So what? You don't know them women life?
How many years have you been friends with them?
The current ones right now, not that long. I moved here, and my current friends are from LA, and I just moved to LA last year, so nobody longer than a year.
Okay.
So like I said, I don't know people past, but I know what's going on now, and the ones I'm around now, they're talking to the same people. If they decide to have numerous ones later, that's on them. Will they tell me?
Look,
I don't know.
I can't do anything to have even a rational conversation with you if every time I ask you a question, you lie to me. Like, I can't. So here's the thing. I'm going to point out multiple lies that I'm going to point out multiple lies. Here's lie number 1, right? When I literally asked you, are women generally more attractive in their 20s than in their 40s? You say yes. I say, well, then that gives them access to more sexual partners, so why wouldn't they go through the whole phase in their 20s rather than their 40s? You still disputed this based on nothing.
Just because they're more attractive don't mean they're having sex.
The logical entailment is that you have to agree with that, right?
To me, just because you're more attractive in your 20s don't mean you're having more sex in your 20s. You just assume that.
No, just generally.
And it's people who get better with age.
Generally, you are.
It's people who get better.
How, when you have the highest libido,
y'all never say he interrupts me, and I don't like that.
How? Can you explain that to me?
You said what?
How in the world, in the age where you have the most amount of libido and you're the most attractive, are you having the least amount of sex? Can you explain that to me?
Because men don't deserve it. They're like y'all.
Oh, okay.
They're like y'all. Fast. Okay. Fast. He fast. He the one. You look at the questions they asking you. I never even watched your podcast. Now I know you're a slut because of how they explained it.
What?
She told on you. She told on
I
you.
want to know who's sleeping.
The conversations you guys are having.
You want to know what?
Is
Wait,
letting
wait,
me
hold
know
on, no, stop,
the
stop,
type
stop.
of man you are.
Stop. Go ahead and say what you just said.
I said I would love to know who's sleeping with you in 1 to 3 dates.
Yeah, that is-
I don't
that is-
actually care.
that
I
is
just
a good
find that
question.
hard
What
to
type
believe
of
as
woman
well.
is sleeping with you 1 to 3 days?
And are they on any substance?
What?
This is LA. You just gotta ask.
Wait, is that why you asked me if I do meth?
Right? He's like, oh, I can take her back later.
Brian, can I ask though, like, how long would you, like, max wait for someone if they were a virgin and you were dating them?
He's like, I wouldn't
How
date a
long would I
virgin.
wait if they were a virgin?
If they were a virgin.
Would you even date a virgin?
Sure. Yeah, I've dated virgins before.
Okay.
I mean, it really varies, you know. If I really like her.
If you really like her.
If I really like her, if it's kind of lukewarm, you know, it's hard to pinpoint a number on it. Typically, though, I mean, in terms of what I'm looking for in a relationship, I'm not really interested in waiting long periods of time before having sex.
What if she, like, folds your laundry, stirs your noodles? Like,
Sure,
you know.
she can get a couple extra dates out of me, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why waste the time
What do you mean?
dealing with the virgin?
I date women who are not virgins. It's interesting though. Like, would I date a virgin? Yes, but I also date women who are not virgins. Most of the women I've dated and date, you know, in terms of my dating experience, not virgins. Have I dated virgins? Yes.
I mean, come on now. You were young once. Of course you dated virgins.
No, I've dated even when I was in my late 20s, early 30s.
Late 20s is not that bad to be a virgin.
Have you looked at the statistics in modernity?
Makes no sense.
Like I said, it's the people y'all know.
Wait, you know what's funny? This
No.
girl-
Hang on. I'm gonna give you the refutation here. Do you want me to tell you what your chances are of being a woman who's a virgin in your late 20s in the year 2024?
It's
Would you
not
like
that
me to give you
many.
the
I
number?
don't even want to go down that route with you. I agree. They're mostly
What do you
whores.
think? What do you think the percentage is?
Probably only 10%, but it's some out there, and I've met them who's been like, bitch, I'm 30, and I don't, do anything. And that's
Yeah, I agree that there's virgins who exist in their 30s and that they're rare, right? But what do you think what did you say you thought the percentage was?
probably 10%. But how would
10%,
y'all
huh?
know about about them? How would you know?
So just so you know, I just want to let you know, by the time they're in their late 20s, right, 94% have lost their virginity.
Okay, so 6%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they don't know this whole world, so I'm gonna still go with my answer, 10%.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you might as well double down on it.
Here, I need to read a chat. Holy Botched Surgery says, the 37-year-old in the pink shirt, when did you transition to female? Do you want to answer that?
I think they're just mad at anybody who
I don't
speaks.
even care. It's going through the air in between my ears, okay?
I just think they're all upset.
And
at
then I
anybody
do
who's
want
like-
to, because your mic was muted while we were doing this. You are, or I don't know if wait, 27.
Yes.
Will you be better? Wait, did I ask
You did,
this?
you did, and I said yes.
No, but we got cut off, I think. Okay, so, or wait.
We did the whole table.
We did.
We did no, but we went into it for like 30 minutes. You and Andrew had a back and forth. Then I did the whole table. So let me just get a definitive here. Better looking in 10 years' time at 37.
Yes.
20 years' time at 47.
No. Well, I don't know. Honestly, I have one of those youthful looks. Like if
So
we
yes-
went
yes or no?
around like
Just give me a yes or no.
maybe. Maybe. For
Okay.
real, because I don't know. That's 20 and a half. That's more years.
Yeah, 30 years' time at 57 versus now at
Because I
27.
could cut my hair, do
Here,
this
just
whole
answer the
look. Like,
question.
you don't
Just
know. It might
just
kill
answer-
it.
Just answer the question.
Then yes, because I don't see myself letting myself go. And I think that I'll just spice it up and give different looks. And it's 30-year-olds, grandmas, you be like, look better than
Okay.
20-year-olds all the time. So I don't see why
Yes, people can still be attractive when they're older, but the question is not, will you still be attractive? Are there attractive 30, 40, 50, 60
Will I
year
look
olds?
better? No.
Will you look better?
No. But 30s maybe.
All right, and you're 27. Were you better looking at 18
No.
than you are now at 27?
No.
Okay. All right. So I want to try to actually have the back and forth before other people actually jump in on this. So your disagreement or criticism is that I want to sleep with women relatively quickly, but I also want a woman with a low body count.
Yeah.
Okay. What's actually wrong with that, or what's the issue?
I'm just saying that I think most women that have a low body count for a reason, whether that be like religious or like
What's a low body count to you?
like 0 to 10, maybe 0 to 5.
0 to 5.
I would
mean,
consider. Oh, I'm sorry. You wanted to have the back. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Andrew.
I was going to say I think that 10 is a high body count.
Okay.
I
0 to
do
5.
too. I think one hand.
Wait, so it'd be unreasonable for me to, let's say a woman has a body count of 7 and she had like 3 hookups and like 4 relationships. That would be unreasonable scenario for me to want to hook up within 3 dates.
Not in that scenario, but like
Okay.
say she hasn't slept with anyone for like a year.
But
and
she previously slept with like 10 people super
5.
quick.
Let's go with 5.
But she's been celibate for a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, still find it objectionable. It would just be a mismatch. Look, women, it's free. You're free to do whatever you want. If it's not going to be a question of pressure, it would just be like, oh, we have a different timeline here. In the same way, like, I'm sure most of you here, well, maybe some of you are okay with waiting till marriage. There are women here at the table who would not want to yourselves wait until marriage to have sex, right?
I will wait.
Okay, that's fine. In any case, people are allowed to have preferences when it comes to this, whether you're a man or a woman. If your timeline mismatches what the other person's timeline is, it's not a good match. Find somebody else.
I agree. I just feel like it's not common, like as Andrew was saying, that you'll
Not
find
common?
not common if somebody hasn't slept with anyone in a long time or doesn't sleep around to sleep.
Well, these are 2 different
quickly.
categories. So hasn't slept with somebody for a long time and has a low body count. So a woman could have 100 body count, but could be celibate for the past year.
Mm-hmm.
I would think in that scenario, it'd be ridiculous if I come into her life that she would want, I wouldn't want to date her because of her body count, but I'd be like, that's ridiculous. This is not a good match. Find somebody else who's willing to
So
wait.
you're dating for the body count while she's just dating to find love and she's trying to change her life.
What is your actual argument?
If you don't get it, don't question it. Move forward.
Yeah, I'm not obliged to date a woman because she's looking for love. Nobody is owed a relationship.
You were looking for the bodies.
She's not owed a relationship.
That's what it sounds like. I'm sure if she stopped, after 100, that she probably is looking for a real thing now. And
Yeah, good for her. But she,
right. So you're not. So then why would y'all talk?
I don't owe a woman a relationship.
I don't think you owe her a relationship. I just think you should tell her, like, hey, I know you got 100 bodies. That's why I'm here. And maybe y'all won't have issues after.
I wouldn't date a woman with a body count of
So
100.
why even have the question about
I
someone
was
stopping
using
for a year
as an
if you
example.
wouldn't give her an example? She would never be an example.
You need to stop fucking cutting in so I can have a back and forth with her. 'Cause
I
I'm gonna be
say
stuck
my
on this for too
opinion.
long. Go ahead. I think you're in the middle of saying something.
No, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Yeah, well, I'm still confused. So she's got a body count of between 5 and 10. You think it's unreasonable for me to want to sleep with her within 3 dates?
I guess the crux of my criticism is like, what are you like bringing to the table, like so quickly into the date that she would be willing to sleep with you if she hasn't in a long time or has a low body count? That's what I'm trying to
Well, I don't
ask.
think that's your point because, in your show notes here, well, I suppose it does have to do.
Yeah, because I kind
little
of said
bit.
it was like.
Yeah,
it
you're a little
seems-
sassy with it.
It seems
but-
like your first date would be more like an interview rather than like a connection being there. And so
yeah,
I just
tell me how you came to that conclusion.
Well, because you'll ask questions like, how many people have you slept with? Are you willing to fold my laundry? are you willing to stir my noodles? Like
Right.
those
You
types
said
of-
so in your notes. You said, like, bro, why would anyone want to sleep with Brian right away when his first date's like an interview? Probably, hey, I'm Brian. Are you okay with the fact that we won't get married? How do you feel about stirring my noodles and folding my laundry? What's your body count? Are you willing to bow? If I was a chaste woman on a date with Brian, I wouldn't think, whoa, this dude who just interviewed me is so great. Now I'm going to immediately give up my chastity.
Based.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what you said.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a couple things here. So I would say that the way I'm conducting myself in the midst of an adversarial podcast is going to be very different than how I'm conducting myself one-on-one.
Yeah. And I thought about that
in
too.
a romantic, intimate setting. So, you know, for example, like you might, I mean, the way somebody might conduct themselves where there's an expectation that you're having adversarial conversations is not how they're going to be conducting themselves when they're dating somebody.
We could do a mock date if you want.
You're in a relationship. Why would you say that?
For podcasts, for views.
A mock date?
Y'all let y'all fans come on the podcast and now you upset. This is what you get.
I'm
You let
not-
your fans come on the podcast. I'm the only one not a fan for real. I don't even know what the fuck going on. I'm finna leave in a little too.
I'm not upset. We're just having the exchange.
He said, why would you say that?
Well, it's just peculiar given that you're in a relationship. But
I think you would think it's funny.
the mock date.
Yeah. Like if like not actually like I mean like right here, like role play.
I mean,
it
this
out.
is not like really a scenario in which would be organic or conducive to like.
You heard what she said for
You gotta
views.
stop fucking
for
interrupting.
views.
Kindly stop fucking interrupting, please and thank you. So, look, this sort of environment would not be particularly conducive or representative of how a
That's true.
conversation might play out in a more typical setting when it comes to a first date. But I actually, even if I grant to you that I do take on a bit of a interviewing capacity with, you know, I know she's laughing over here. By the way, I saw this chick's fucking Instagram stories. Absolute, like, 37-year-old still going to fucking mansion parties dressed like a fucking strumpet. So, I mean, you're one to
fun.
fucking talk over here. So,
Okay.
yeah, you've been fucking chuckling out of your mouth the entire fucking night of me. So,
Thanks for stalking me.
how
You
is
didn't
it
look
stalking?
before the podcast, so that must have just happened.
Yeah, I was reposting people's stories, lady. Okay. So, what would actually be wrong if I were to ask women questions before agreeing to meet with them?
I think that's fine, but it kind of seems like maybe those questions wouldn't be super organic. Like on the first to third date, I would assume you'd ask that later on.
Yeah, like how do you put it into conversation?
Oh, is this
like,
a rage quit? Rage quit over here?
I'm not angry, I'm just embarrassed.
Are you quitting? It's a quit?
I think it's because we didn't know when we got invited that it would be like mean people coming rude. I personally don't
Bro, I love
care.
that this woman's quitting when she's been mocking and laughing at me the entire fucking show.
She didn't.
You're bored because you've got fucking TikTok brain because you're, oh my God, bro. There's too much fucking Botox in your face, bro. Your lips look like fucking clown fucking lips. Bro, you've been talking shit all night. The one thing I said to you was giving you the slightest milquetoast pushback to you wanting to date a millionaire. That's the extent of the pushback I gave. If you have a gripe with Andrew, that's fine. I wasn't really even that rude to you. But you've been at me all night.
I mean, I personally, from the beginning, y'all were laughing at. He laughed at her on there for sure before she
Bro,
laughed.
if I sat here and I was like, I want a 19-year-old virgin Victoria's Secret model, y'all would fucking clown me.
You know why I
Y'all
would clown you?
fucking clown me.
Not because she's
I mean,
Victoria's Secret.
I would also.
I would clown you
would.
because you said 19 and you old as fuck. That's weird. That's why I would clown you. Not because of Victoria's Secret, because you could find that. They're not, some of them
Right.
ain't all that good looking.
So you think
could-
it's delusional that I could get a woman of that caliber? Okay. We think it's delusional that she's a 37-year-old woman who wants to date a millionaire.
But she already is dating them. She
Where's
said
the
that.
ring? As a woman, just because guys are
Everyone
fucking,
doesn't
stop
wanna get
interrupting.
married.
As a woman, a W is not fucking multiple guys. The W is getting the ring. Until you have the ring, it doesn't mean shit.
That's so sad that people
That's
think
not
that,
sad.
though. It is, because
Bro,
everyone don't deserve to be married.
Women's metric of success is not being able to fuck a guy. You get the W when you get commitment. She's dating 3 dudes. She doesn't have the ring.
So
She
what
doesn't have
but
commitment.
what if she got proposed by one of them and
She's
she turned
dating
them down?
3 dudes. She doesn't have the commitment. Point blank, period. Y'all women think the W is fucking successful rich dudes? Nah.
No, I don't think that.
Nah.
That's why I don't have countless meaningless sex. I don't do stuff like that because I know it's not that.
Can you
That's not the way.
fix your mic and stop moving it kindly?
That's not the way to do it. But she never said she was dealing with numerous ones. She said only one, and that was her ex. That was the rich one. She said, and she said all of them make more than $1 million. When you said 500.
Actually, wait, you three
So
scoot
she
down?
doesn't seem like she's lying. She drives a McLaren.
YouTube, scoot
I
down,
mean,
please.
it is what it is.
That's cool. All right, I'm going to read a couple chats here. Hold on, guys.
Christ is Lord donated $200. Brian, a true traditional woman strives to wait until marriage, and you want a woman that doesn't wait. You have a double standard against traditional values. There's no way around this. Andrew agrees.
I'm
There
not
you go.
I'm not like 100% a traditional man.
Brian doesn't
I'm
want
not.
to get married.
I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married, so I don't really see what the issue is.
But I would like the chatter to respond to the paradox of. I think that this position
Am I
is
the
strong.
chatter?
So I agree in the
No,
spirit
okay.
of the idea that the chatter's kind of right here. But I do think that Brian's point with the paradox is true, which is that if you have a woman who has been promiscuous in the past and suddenly she's going to make you wait, that seems fucked up from the waiter's perspective, right? That seems like, oh, all these other men were good enough for you, but not me. And I still haven't actually heard a good answer to that. So maybe chatter,
What was
maybe you
the
can
question?
actually respond to that argument.
What was the answer you were looking for?
I wasn't looking for an answer.
You said I haven't heard a good answer from that yet, Cheddar.
Argument, a good argument.
Chatter. I want to just give my opinion too.
Go ahead.
What was the answer you were looking for? Say it again.
I was looking for an argument for this. So here's the paradox. If a woman has slept with multiple men before you very quickly, but she wants to make you wait because she's turning over a new leaf, from the perspective of the man who she's turning the new leaf over for, it seems like basically she's saying you're not good enough and these other men were.
No, I don't think so. Even though I can't relate to her at all and what she's got going on, that's not my life. I'm just speaking. First of all, none of these are my life. I'm just speaking on everyone's topic because that's what we're here to.
Yeah, no,
talk.
I understand. Yeah.
But I don't think that's it. I think she probably just trying to change her life. Like he said, he doesn't want someone who did all that, then try to change their life. So they're just not meant to be right away, like he said.
I agree that
I
they're
just
just
don't
trying to
think
change
they
their
should
life. I
start
agree.
either. Like if as
Hold
soon
on.
as she says 100 bodies, then you should say bye. Anything else, expecting sex and something from her when she's saying she's changing, you shouldn't be upset about.
Yeah, I just wouldn't date her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then we're
But like,
done.
what's more delusional? Her wanting a millionaire, a less than 1% man, or me wanting to sleep with a woman with a sub 10 body count in 3 dates or less? What's more delusional? Why don't you answer the question?
I mean, I guess the millionaire would be more delusional.
What do you mean?
I don't think-
you
Like,
guess.
Okay, it is. It is more delusional.
Okay. But so going back to your further criticisms on this, what would actually be wrong with like asking someone questions when getting to meet them?
I mean, it's fine if it's organic, but
What? Who cares if it's organic or not?
it's just, I feel like if you're on a date and you're trying to build chemistry and like a connection, then the questions like that kind of come off more like interview and like business, like a transaction, rather than like a chemistry thing.
Sorry, man. We got to be careful here. Okay. So whose job is it on a date to bring the vibe?
I think both.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.